5 simple habits that changed my life in just 10 days. Let's dive into 5 transformative habits that reshaped my life in just 10 days. I know 10 days might seem like a short time, but I promise these aren't just your typical tips. These are real grounded practices I personally wove into my daily life, facing both challenges and breakthroughs along the way. The transformation was powerful, and I'm excited to share this journey with you because these habits can bring a real impact to anyone's life. Whether you're hoping to boost your productivity, support your mental well-being, or create positive shifts in your day-to-day, these 5 habits can guide you there. So, grab a warm drink, settle in, and let's explore these habits together. Trust me, you'll want to stay until the end because these aren't just theories. They're practical, straightforward actions you can start using right now. Along the way, I'll share some personal experiences and honest reflections to show you how each habit played a role in my journey. So let's jump right in. Habit 1, embracing early mornings. The first habit that had a profound impact on my life was learning to wake up early. I'll be honest, I wasn't naturally a morning person. Mornings often felt rushed, and I'd barely be out of bed before diving straight into a busy day, already feeling behind. But I wanted to see if starting my day earlier could make a difference, so I decided to give it a shot. And let me tell you, it completely shifted my perspective. I committed to setting my alarm for 5 a.m. It wasn't easy at first. Those first mornings were rough. I dragged myself out of bed, groggy and questioning my decision. But as I persisted, something amazing began to happen. I started to treasure the quiet of the early hours, that serene stillness before the world wakes up. With these precious extra moments, I finally had the time to do things that added genuine value to my day. I'd start with some light movement, whether it was a few gentle stretches or a short walk outside. It didn't take much to feel invigorated, and this gentle exercise sparked a natural energy that carried me through the day. Then, I carved out a few minutes for mindfulness, a brief moment to breathe, meditate, and think about my intentions for the day made all the difference. No more rushing out the door. Instead, I had time for a leisurely breakfast and a relaxed cup of coffee while planning my day with purpose. This slow, mindful start set a positive tone that made me feel more organized and in control. One of my favorite early morning memories was watching the sunrise one quiet morning. The world seemed to slow down, and in that moment, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace and gratitude. It was such a simple experience, but incredibly powerful. Early mornings may not be everyone's cup of tea, but if you're interested in trying it, start small. Set your alarm just 15 minutes earlier than usual and see how you feel. You might find that this habit, more than just adding hours to your day, creates a more meaningful and intentional start that could change your outlook entirely. Habit 2, making daily movement a priority. The next habit that reshaped my days was incorporating daily movement. I'll admit, I wasn't always someone who exercised consistently. I had a long list of excuses for skipping workouts. I'm too tired, there's no time, or I'll start next week. Sound familiar? But one day I decided it was time to make a change. I set a goal to move my body every day for 10 days, and the effects were profound. I started small, just 20 minutes a day, experimenting with different types of movement like yoga, jogging, and strength exercises. I wanted variety to keep things interesting and stay motivated. The first few days were tough. My muscles were sore and I felt drained. But I kept reminding myself of my goal, to feel better inside and out. By the 4th day, I noticed a shift. I had more energy in the mornings, my mood lifted, and I felt calmer and more positive. I realized these 20 minutes weren't just about burning calories or building strength. They were a dedicated time for me to let go of stress, release tension, and recharge. One crisp morning stands out in my memory. I laced up my sneakers and set out for a run. As I jogged along the quiet road, I felt an exhilarating sense of freedom and clarity, like it was just me and the open world. It was an empowering, almost meditative experience that connected me deeply with myself and my surroundings. I also began to see subtle changes in my body. My posture improved, I felt more resilient, and my stamina grew. But the biggest impact was on my mindset. Exercise became a time to disconnect from daily pressures and reconnect with myself. It transformed from a chore into an act of self-care. A special moment during this journey was trying yoga for the first time. Initially, I was unsure. I thought I wasn't flexible enough and doubted it would be a real workout. But after a few sessions, I found myself drawn to the calm and presence yoga encouraged. Yoga taught me to tune into my breathing, stay mindful, and listen to my body's signals. The benefits went far beyond the physical, bringing a sense of inner balance. Adding daily movement to my life reminded me that taking care of my body is essential for my mental well-being and happiness. It's not about pushing to extremes. It's about discovering a form of movement that brings joy and making it part of your routine. Habit 3, journaling for clarity and growth. The third habit that profoundly changed my life was journaling. I used to think journaling was only for people with endless free time or a natural flair for introspection. Honestly, I was skeptical. With so much happening every day, who has time to sit and write? But after 10 days of consistent journaling, I was hooked. It became a fundamental part of my personal growth. I kept it simple. Each night before bed, I set aside just 10 minutes to write. I didn't use any fancy apps or stress about aesthetics, just a notebook and a pen. At first, I didn't know what to write, so I began with the basics: how my day went, what brought me joy, and where I struggled. As I continued, I found myself exploring deeper topics: my goals, fears, dreams, and insecurities. It felt like having an honest conversation with myself, and that's when the real benefits started. I began to recognize patterns in my thoughts and actions. I noticed that many of my worries were about things beyond my control, while others were issues I could actively work on. One night, I journaled about a challenging day at work, dissecting what had stressed me out, how it made me feel, and what I could do differently next time. Putting it all on paper helped me process my emotions and regain a sense of control. Another unexpected benefit was seeing my progress. I recorded small victories and moments of growth, even if they seemed minor. Reviewing these entries later gave me a sense of accomplishment and motivated me to keep going. For example, I wrote about preparing for a presentation I'd been anxious about. Reflecting on my preparation and the positive outcome boosted my confidence. I also started a gratitude section, jotting down 3 things I was thankful for each day. This small habit shifted my focus from what I lacked to what I had, bringing a new layer of positivity to my life. One memorable entry involved a random act of kindness I experienced, a stranger helping me with my groceries. Writing about this small moment filled me with gratitude and inspired me to look for opportunities to pay kindness forward. Through journaling, I discovered so much about myself, my strengths, my fears, and the things I truly valued. It became a therapeutic space where I could honestly express everything without fear of judgment. If you haven't tried journaling, I encourage you to give it a shot. Don't worry about perfect wording or deep insights. Just let your thoughts flow. Write about anything: your day, your worries, or a specific experience. Allow yourself the freedom to express whatever you feel. You may be surprised by the clarity and peace it brings. Remember, it's not about writing perfectly. It's about connecting with yourself through the act of writing. Habit 4, embracing mindful eating. Next on the list is mindful eating, a habit that genuinely changed my relationship with food. Like many people, I used to eat quickly, often while scrolling on my phone or working at my laptop. Meals were something to get through rather than savor. But trying mindful eating for 10 days brought a level of awareness and appreciation I never anticipated. Mindful eating is all about fully experiencing each bite, noticing everything from the flavors to the textures and even the sounds. To start, I made my dining space a calm and inviting area. I set up my table thoughtfully, removed distractions, and decided to focus only on the meal in front of me. No phone, no TV, no multitasking. It felt odd at first, sitting quietly with my food, but it quickly turned into a soothing ritual. I began each meal with a few deep breaths, grounding myself in the present moment. Right away, I noticed how much more I enjoyed my food. Slowing down and focusing allowed me to discover new layers of flavor and texture. Foods I'd had countless times before tasted different, more vibrant, almost as if I were tasting them for the first time. The crispness of fresh veggies, the sweetness of fruits, they all stood out, making each bite a small, delightful experience. Another surprising benefit was feeling more satisfied after meals. Eating slowly and mindfully allowed my body to catch up and signal when I was full, which naturally helped me avoid overeating. I remember a moment with a bowl of oatmeal, a food I usually ate quickly and barely thought about. But when I took my time, savoring each spoonful, the warm creaminess and gentle sweetness from the honey turned breakfast into a calming, satisfying experience that left me feeling content. I also began noticing how different foods impacted my energy. Heavy, processed foods left me feeling sluggish, while fresh, whole foods gave me an energized, light feeling. This awareness gradually led me to make healthier choices without feeling forced or restricted. Mindful eating also helped me recognize the emotional connections I had with food. I started noticing when I was reaching for a snack out of boredom, stress, or even habit instead of actual hunger. This realization was powerful. Instead of automatically snacking, I could address the real need. Maybe a break, a quick stretch, or even just a glass of water was all I needed. One night, I craved something sweet after dinner. I paused and checked in with myself. Was I really hungry, or was it more of a habit? I realized it was just an end-of-day treat I was looking for, so I opted for a soothing cup of herbal tea. It was a small but empowering moment that highlighted how transformative mindful eating could be. Incorporating this practice into my daily life has been more impactful than I expected. It helped me develop a positive relationship with food, improved my digestion, and brought a greater sense of well-being. If you're curious about trying it, start with just one meal each day. Sit down, breathe deeply, and focus on savoring each bite. Notice the flavors, textures, and how the food makes you feel. You may find that this simple shift in how you approach meals can make a significant difference, reconnecting you with your body and helping you appreciate the true nourishment food provides. Habit 5, reducing screen time for a healthier mind. The fifth habit that made a remarkable difference in my life was limiting screen time. I'll admit, this was no easy feat. Living in a digital age, it's almost second nature to get lost in endless scrolling, binge watching, or checking notifications. But I began to notice how this constant screen exposure was impacting my mental clarity, productivity, and even my sleep. So, I decided to set some boundaries and see if it would make a difference. I set a goal of limiting my non-work related screen time to 1 hour a day. This meant saying goodbye to hours of Instagram scrolling, cutting back on YouTube rabbit holes, and nixing late-night Netflix marathons. It was challenging at first. Screens had become my default time filler. But the first surprise was discovering just how much time I'd gained. Without the screens, I had hours to explore interests I'd long forgotten. I picked up that book I'd been meaning to read, sketched a bit, and even tried a few new recipes in the kitchen. One evening, instead of my usual post-dinner screen time, I took a walk to the park. The fresh air, the gentle sounds of nature, and the act of moving felt refreshing in a way that screen time never had. That evening walk became a treasured part of my routine, something I looked forward to every day. It felt like a genuine reset, a break from the digital noise. Another huge benefit was better sleep. Previously, I'd often scroll through my phone or watch videos until I felt drowsy, but this habit left me feeling wired and restless. By stepping away from screens at night, I found it much easier to relax and drift off naturally. I began a bedtime routine that didn't involve screens, reading a book, meditating, or simply reflecting on my day. The result was deeper, more restful sleep and a noticeable boost in my energy levels the next day. My mental clarity improved as well. Without the constant feed of updates, social media comparisons, and distractions, I felt less anxious and more present. I was able to focus better on conversations, truly listen to others, and enjoy my surroundings. It felt as though a weight had lifted, allowing me to engage more fully with life. One memorable day was spent in a cozy cafe with only a notebook and pen. I jotted down my thoughts, set goals, and even sketched a bit. Without digital interruptions, the time felt peaceful and productive, leaving me feeling grounded and connected to myself in a way I hadn't experienced in a while. Of course, there were times I'd catch myself reaching for my phone out of habit. But each time, I reminded myself of the positive effects I was experiencing and redirected my attention to something more fulfilling. Reducing screen time isn't about abandoning technology. It's about finding a healthier balance and being mindful of how you spend your time. If you feel digitally overwhelmed, consider setting some gentle screen time limits. Start small, maybe by reducing screen time by an hour a day, and gradually increase it. Use that extra time to reconnect with yourself, spend time with loved ones, or enjoy the world around you. You might find that life becomes more vibrant and fulfilling when you engage with it in real time. That's a wrap, everyone. We've just walked through 5 transformative habits that reshaped my life in only 10 days, and it's been an incredible journey to share them with you. These habits hold the potential to make a real difference, and if they worked for me, I genuinely believe they can work for anyone. If any of these resonated with you, I encourage you to give them a try. Start with one habit and see how it feels. Adapt it to your lifestyle, and remember, this journey isn't about being perfect. It's about making small, steady changes that build into meaningful transformations over time. I'd love to hear about your journey. Drop a comment below to let me know which habit you're planning to start with, or if you have any questions on how to get going. Your stories and experiences make this community so vibrant and supportive. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss any of the insights and tips we have lined up. Sharing this video with friends or family who might benefit from these habits could be just the encouragement they need to start their own journey. Thank you so much for being part of this experience. Remember, small steps can lead to big changes. Let's keep growing, keep evolving, and turn everyday actions into powerful moments of self-improvement. See you in the next video. Stay amazing, everyone.